Greetings, family. Welcome to another edition of Black Talk Radio, where black media matters and black life definitely matters. Today is Saturday, August 25th, 2018. Family, this video is about a series of photos called Unequal Scenes. They're aerials that highlight the split between rich and poor. I'm going to highlight on South Africa in particular so that you could see how the white minority live and how the black majority live. Now, anytime white people say to black people, go back to your own country, of course they're not talking about black Americans because black Americans built this country. Of course, we are the true Native Americans, if you will. But nonetheless, in South Africa, where there is a black majority, they still don't control the natural resources and the land. That's a major problem. But anyways, this photographer here took some very, very interesting photos to where it's a glaring example of the greed that exists even in a country where the majority of people suffer at the hands of the few. But without further ado, let's get into this story and show some of those photos. This photo here is Johannesburg, South Africa. Aptly named, quote, Unequal Scenes, these shocking drone images highlight the range of inequality that exists across the world, taken by South Africa-based photographer Johnny Miller. They show the contrast between upper-class housing and beaten-down shacks. And in South Africa, we know these shacks is called shanty towns. But nonetheless, fancy parks and dirt fields. The works have taken Miller far and wide, including Kenya, Mexico, Tanzania, India, the United States, and across South Africa. Since starting the ongoing series in 2016, he has captured more than 70 scenes worldwide. Again, this picture here is Johannesburg, South Africa. This picture here is in Durban, South Africa. It is the Papa Sugalum golf course. Currently a Cape Town resident, Miller, who was born in Maryland, said, quote, I thought it was strange how easy it was to become habituated to inequality, to drive past these shacks every day, but not really think about it or do anything about it. So I decided to take my drone and focus on the problem and try to change people's perspective, literally, with an aerial view of the problem as I saw it. One day in April 2016, I did just that, and the project was born. And family, this picture is Cape Town, South Africa. It's called Lake Michelle. And the Masifumi Lili. This photo too is in South Africa. It's called the Equality. And I'm not going to get into pronouncing the actual names of these places anymore because with respect to the African language, the African dialect, I don't want to say these words wrong and say something offensive, so I'll just leave it at that. But I will let you know that these places are definitely in South Africa. This picture here is called Stellenbosch in South Africa, and from the looks of it, South Africa is quite nice. And for white people to call Africa a shithole country, I think you should put that foot so far down your mouth that you swallow it and choke on it. Anyways, I digress. It says, the images that I find the most powerful are when the camera is looking straight down, what is known as nadir view, looking at the actual borders between rich and poor. This picture here is of Johannesburg, South Africa. Anyways, it says sometimes this is a fence, sometimes a road or a wetlands with small shacks or poor houses on one side and larger houses or mansions on the other. Whatever it is about the composition of those photographs, they are extremely powerful to people. I think the images make inequality relevant. People can see themselves reflected in the images, and it's deeply unsettling. Miller's works have proved to be very popular globally. He has upcoming exhibitions in Germany, Italy, Greece, New York, North Carolina, and Cape Town. This picture here is of Johannesburg, South Africa. This picture here is of Stellenbosch, South Africa also. This picture here is of the Western Cape in South Africa. And so as you can see how beautiful South Africa is and why the Africans there want their land back, as it ended up being in the colonizers' hands, or rather the invaders. This picture here is of Cape Town in South Africa, called Hoyt Bay. This picture here is of Pietermaritzburg, South Africa. This is Khayelitsha, South Africa, Harare. This picture is of Durban, South Africa, called Phoenix. This is Johannesburg, South Africa, called Alexandra. Also Johannesburg, South Africa, called the Alexandra Women's Hostel, or hostel rather. This picture is of Johannesburg, South Africa, Unequal Scenes. This picture here is Cape Town, South Africa, Dunnan. And this aerial footage is Cape Town, District 6. This is Khayelitsha, Cape Town, Harare. Monswabisi, Part 2. I don't know why I'm attempting to say these names. Well, it's because it's African and they should be said. This is Durban, South Africa. Also Durban, South Africa. Still in Durban, South Africa. I find these photos not only revealing of the wealth and then the lack of it, but also it's very invasive for any type of purpose. This is Durban, South Africa, and as you can see, I mean, this photographer actually literally has so many photographs of South Africa. It's absolutely stunning. It's beautiful. I don't know what white Americans are talking about. I think they're just trying to keep black Americans away from Africa. They don't want us to go. Simply put, black people, if you are going to remain in the dark and dumb about Africa, shame on you. Durban, South Africa. Johannesburg, South Africa. This is Innisfree Park. Johannesburg, South Africa. Johannesburg, South Africa. Durban, South Africa. Johannesburg, South Africa. This is another part of Innisfree Park, a second photograph. Cape Town, South Africa. Overall, family, as you can see, there are serious disparities between the races, between black and white. Anytime black people have come into contact with white people on planet Earth, we have been ended up on the bottom of the shelf. Always. Somehow they have connived or stolen or have murdered their way to getting what was once ours. What they have now has not been gotten by righteous means. That's what we know for sure. It doesn't matter how much they say that how hard they work and all this and that. It is a facade. It's an illusion. It is not based on reality. Nonetheless, Cape Town and I believe it was South Durban or Durban, South Africa rather. Both of these places look very, very nice. Definitely a place that I want to visit. Quite a few black entertainers or sports athletes have gone there. Not quite a few, but a few of them have anyways. And they reported very positive things about South Africa, what they saw. They didn't like the shanty towns and whatnot, but of course they talked about how beautiful the country was. And of course from these pictures you can see as well that it is indeed beautiful. It's not a shithole country like some people want to make you believe. And also, this is Cape Town. So family, you saw a couple things. You saw the disparities, and also you saw just how beautiful South Africa really is. And what I don't like, and one thing that I want to end this message off with, is how these white people who are in South Africa, how they say they, quote, love the country. They love their country. You know what? It's just like white Americans here. You guys just don't get it, do you? When you say you love your country, how can you love your country and you allow areas that have black people living here in the same country, you let it go down? You don't put resources into those areas to build them up. You don't put nice roads into those areas. Just like in South Africa. What I'm saying is, you built up this little enclave real nice for yourself, but when the country was growing and making all kinds of money from the diamonds there that belong to the natural people that belong there, the black people that belong there, you should have used those resources and helped build up those areas where black people live. Same within America. When black people worked for this country as slaves and built up this nation, you in turn should have been doing the right thing and making sure that the black people in this country were taken care of. Instead, you decided that immigration was great. And you start letting every Tom, Dick, and Harry into the country, and you allowed them to excel over the people who built this nation. Shame on you. And this is unrighteous. And until you make it right, you're not going to be right. Everything you do will fail. I'm just the messenger. This is Guru at Black Talk Radio, where black media matter. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Peace out.